Neoliberalism and its cyber-libertarian variant has never been about getting rid of government, just twisting it to suit corporate purposes. It's never been about promoting freedom and free speech, just equating free speech with corporate power to protect capitalists from democratic...
Right. And the idea of deregulation. Elon Musk, for instance, loves to cry about deregulation, how the government needs to get out of the way, but what they really mean is that they love regulation. They love regulation that benefits corporations and is adversely affecting the public. So it's one big grift, it's one big hypocrisy, but we know that. We can see the contradictions inherent in the political economy. It doesn't take too smart of a person, I don't think, to see the irreconcilable contradictions of capitalism. Obviously, it's speaking out of both sides of its mouth. It is a walking hypocritical contradiction, and the people that justify it are silly.
It's never been about getting rid of government services in the public interest, just ridding capitalists of the responsibility to pay the taxes that make them possible. And no place is more emblematic of these truths than Silicon Valley. Elon Musk rails about the evils of government, but is very much looking forward to taking on a leading role in it under Trump, and regularly accepts billions in government subsidies.
Yeah, this is the point that I like to harp on too. I'm glad he's mentioning it. Elon has, been making it clear that his mistrust in the Democratic Party, he calls out one half of the corporate duopoly and correctly labels it as a party that's controlled by elitist billionaires, and they're issuing government handouts. He's all up in arms because Democrats are being influenced by big money. And then he goes and funds literally an elitist billionaire for president. He himself is an elitist billionaire, and he's decrying government handouts because supposedly the Democrats bribe illegal immigrants once they're here to vote Democrat. There's this big conspiratorial plot that the Democrats are ensnaring us all in with these illegal immigrants that they're helicoptering over the border, infiltrating our homeland. He himself, Elon Musk, is an illegal immigrant who is the most heavily subsidized person on the planet. So it's all projection. Everything with capitalism is a projection. Everything that capitalists say or complain about is mere projection of the features of the political economy that they benefit from and have created in their own likeness, let's say. And remember that politics is a reflection of the economy. It's not the other way around. It's economy that is the base. Politics is the superstructure. And, I'm glad he's talking about the cyber-libertarianism. I mean, interesting new phrase, whatever. But it's just libertarianism with technology, with technological terms, like digital freedom. I mean, it's just this perfect strain of anarcho-capitalism in the United States right now. It's just, we hate government, we love capitalism, and let's keep them separated. The government should be small, not do much. Well, what they're really saying is that the government should do a whole hell of a lot for capitalists. It should, obviously, when capitalism is in a crisis, when the banks commit fraud and collapse the economy and the bubble bursts, they run to the nanny state to get the keys back and get the billions of subsidies from public money. Why do they make it so pivotal that they have to get their senators elected, and as soon as they're in their offices day one, they're cold calling donors, thanking them, trying to secure funds for the next election. Meanwhile, barging through their door are special interest lobby group, lobbyists, barging through their door. Already drafts of bills are already dreamed up and typed out, and they're working on it. They're working on legislating all these laws to write the tax code, for instance, to make sure that corporations don't pay taxes, that billionaires do not pay taxes, that you cannot tax capital gains, or if you do tax capital gains, it's very, very small. You can't tax something like unrealized gains, but you can use it to buy Twitter, for instance. All these machinations and mechanisms that capitalists employ with the government, in conjunction with government, state power, to engineer, centrally plan a command economy, to the benefit of the CEO class. The system is rigged, okay? The problems of our society are well known. They're understood by world leaders. I don't think there's any ambiguity. It's simply the fact that we live in a class society. We have class war. It's the most essential thing that I think anyone should acknowledge and be aware of the fact that we are living through a class war, and you cannot escape that. You can try to fantasize that you're not, but everything you do is political, and you are completely tied and tethered to the system, and you are defined by what you do for the economy. What is your social relation to the productive forces? How do you procure things that you need to survive? That says everything about your social ideas, your interests, your values, your principles, your beliefs, and your political ideas. And your political ideology is defined by your livelihood, by the economy. So the economy is essential, then comes politics. What do you do for the economy? You work. You're just like Brittany, bitch. You're a worker, okay? So now that you understand that, you have to now go about the world with that class consciousness. And everything that you do should be rooted in that fundamental truism of our society, that we live in a class war. You are a member of the working class. So the ruling class, through the use of technology and how things have developed in human society, they now have the power to control what we think, because they have the means to produce, they have the resources, the land, the labor, and they have the technology, they have the means to implement a huge PR apparatus worth trillions of dollars to control how people think. And that's the cultural hegemony of capitalism. It's not only colonized the land, the resources, and the labor, it's colonized our ideas about society itself. It's colonized our values. Working class values are now equated as capitalist values. For instance, capitalists accrue their wealth through hard work. That is generally well accepted by society, not here in this stream, but in the world at large, generally accepted. Yes, the ones that are wealthy, they earned it. It's a common myth that is generally accepted axiomatically, without question, above reproach, to suggest this. And it's completely false. Billionaires, for example, do not acquire their wealth through hard work. Well, they do actually. They acquire it through your hard work. They acquire it by exploiting hard work. And there is no other way to do that. There's no other way, there's no other explanation that can be used to explain how they have acquired such soaring heights of wealth and power. Each level of class are designed to buffer the poor away from the rich. That's right. And then you have the very bottom, and we see them on the streets of all of our cities in the United States and elsewhere, the homeless, the absolutely destitute, the ones that the ruling class need to use to scare, to fearmonger the working class, to keep going, sucking on that mother teat, keep licking that boot, because look, it could get a lot worse. You could be living in a tent under the bridge. So I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it all. I'm not gonna live a lie, okay? I'm gonna die with no illusion about my world. I don't know about you. Oh, hi there. In the past 6 months, I've been banned on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Threads, TikTok, and now YouTube. This is 1000% because of my coverage of Israel's genocide against the Palestinians. In light of being demonetized on all these platforms, I've decided to start exclusively posting to Patreon, where you can sign up for all my posts and live streams for just $3 a month.
Wow!
In addition to having all access to my live streams, you'll also be in a group chat with yours truly.
Wow, that sounds awesome.
I've spent a considerable amount of time and effort trying to build audiences on these platforms, only to have them swept away at a moment's notice, and that is pretty frustrating. But I want to say that I'm thankful and grateful for all of your support and kind words throughout all of this, and I hope to see you on these new platforms very soon.